Hey, welcome to ILTG, the show that keeps you inspired, informed, and to know. I'm your host, Vision X, and we are joined by some very special guests that I've always watched on Instagram. They have some of the hottest videos going on right now. So thank y'all for joining me. I'm gonna let Maisha introduce herself first.
Hi guys, it's Maya Lamise. How y'all doing? I'm so thankful for being here. Thank you for having me, and I'm so grateful to be here with these lovely, beautiful ladies.
And then joined by Nikki Hedges.
Hughes. That's
You,
okay.
sorry.
No problem. That's okay. Thank you for having me. This is my first panel ever, and I am very proud and pleased to be amongst my favorites.
Awesome. And last but not least, Janine Balancing.
Blazing
Please
close.
speak. That was close.
Okay, well, first of all, everybody, you know me as Boss Up and Get It Now. I am beyond honored anytime I can get on, and we support black business, black. Hey, I'm always available. I'm always ready. It's such an honor to be here with you and these lovely ladies. Thank you.
No problem. So we're just going to jump right into the videos. Let me go ahead and get us up and running. So that way we will begin. All right, so we'll start here.
Well. Want to know, where are their fathers? It's very clear America doesn't have a race problem. It has a problem race. But they ain't even do nothing. Stereotypes aren't given, they're earned. Ashamed of nothing, offended by everything, contributes absolutely nothing, entitled to everything. Baby, they said we done stole whole countries. What's a little makeup between friends? I just have one question. Several people have circulated this video. Where are all you color redacteds out there suffering from black fatigue? Comment sections real dry. Child, these thugs running around on the streets. Let me get off this phone and go knock my door.
So explain to me why you made that video. That was hilarious.
You know what? I am the biggest reason is because it gets so exhausting seeing these color redacted folks constantly, number one, viewing black people as a monolith while demanding to be seen as individuals. So I'm not one of those content creators that's here to educate anybody. I don't get paid for that. But what I will do is put you in your place. I'm gonna call you to the floor. I'm gonna call you to the mat. Um, and then, it's crazy to me how these people have gotten the world to believe that black people are the problem. And they show up in droves when someone posts a video of someone black doing something that's considered wrong or illegal or whatever. But the minute the spotlight is on them, where they go? Where they go? You can't see them. You can't find them. You can't find them. It's crazy how they've convinced the world that everyone is the problem but them, that everyone else's stereotypes are true except theirs. And the crazy part about that is theirs are more founded in reality than ours are. In history, are more historically accurate. They are the most violent. They've been stealing since they genetically mutated. Like let's be real. Like, but they've convinced the world that black people are the problem. So I'm one of those. I'm gonna throw it back in your face every chance I get. And I don't just do it for fodder. I do it um because it's true. But I try to do it in a way that makes people laugh and people can relate. So yeah, it's just tiring. It's tiring. Target, there was a statistic that black people were stealing the most from Target. But what's crazy is I've talked to a lot of people, and from loss prevention to regular workers to customers to managers, everything. they were trained, specifically trained to watch the Black people.
Mhm.
So where they're watching me in there, you know, which it was a time I would have not target off. It was a time I lived a certain life where I would have not target off. But the reality of it is they are specifically trained to watch Black and brown people. Meanwhile, Susan, Becky, and Chad are still in all the mayonnaise, still in everything but washcloths. Come
Yeah.
on. Still in everything but washcloths.
No, that's true because when I used to work at Best Buy,
Mm-hmm.
loss prevention, they literally said, "Oh, focus," and it'll be all the Black people. I don't care if you
Yeah.
were dressed down or if you were dressed up. They always told us,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, follow them for what? And then we got Jim Bob and them over here stealing stuff, got groceries, and I'm just like, but we just let them walk out the door, and it's not even that we're not even watching them, but also they
Mm-hmm.
do get caught. There's no tackle. There's no
No.
throwing them on the ground, or there's none of that. It's like, oh, just give it back to us, and they'll come back to the
Mm-hmm.
store.
Oh, calling the police on them.
None of that.
None of
No
that.
tasing. No. Yeah, none of that.
It just be the things like that.
I have a friend who was a Walmart door person. She
Mhm.
said the same thing. She said that they pretty much they're trained to look at us when every time they catch somebody, it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah,
genetic mutation.
yeah,
Always.
yeah. That's true. But I want to read some of the comments that somebody made. Now I'm gonna butcher these names because they be making weird names up on social media. But Monica Penny 312 says their fathers are driving a getaway car.
What took me out?
Real Rizzo 870 said, ashamed by nothing, offended by everything. I'd like that statement. You
Mm-hmm.
need to copyright that or something.
But wait a minute. All those quotes that I made in that video, I specifically made those quotes because if you go to any video like the one I showed, but it shows Black people, you will see a million white people copying and pasting those. So I'm giving them back what they tried to say. Like they colonized Black fatigue. Now they say these. So I took all those quotes and now I'm taking them and they're mine.
And then Million Harris said, just in case they're feeling a little bit froggy, 69.4% of individuals arrested for shoplifting are white. That is accurate.
That is very accurate.
And Jazz M Nerd, butchered that. She says, that's the first time I've ever seen a snatch and waddle. So on to the next video. So we're just going to jump. I like to jump right into the videos. And so that way we can just hear it and then talk about it.
Knew they were voting for him because of the economy, they were lying. I think people voted for him because this country, too many people in this country, couldn't even think about voting for a Black female. So when but they don't want to say, they're not going to say, I'm not voting for her because she's a woman, right, she's Black. God forbid she's both. Oh, and by the way, she's married to a Jewish guy. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, I'm voting for him because of the economy. They're liars.
Hold on. Completely agree with a lot of what you say. But when we say they're liars, we don't mean all of them. Put your best spin on it. Why would
He's a good businessman. They think he was going to make us money.
a good businessman do good for the economy and make money? Okay, smart guy. Why did good people vote for Trump?
What do you have to say about that?
It was never about the economy.
Never.
And they're gonna say that because they still don't want to say the quiet part out loud, and that's the part that pisses me off because it's like y'all right there. Just go ahead and say it. We already know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't offend us by it. So just go ahead and say the real reason. We already know it. That's the problem with racist white people. It's like you want to be racist, like just like when they cover their face, they know they're doing something wrong. When you gotta wear a hood, when you gotta wear a mask,
Yes.
you know that what you're doing is wrong, which is why you're covering your fucking face. So they're cowards through and through. So they're never gonna admit what we already know. And I think that's why as Black people now, we like, no, fuck y'all. We gonna do our thing because you're never going to say it. You would
Mm-hmm.
rather this country burn
Burn
to the
to the
ground
ground. Say
than
that
to
shit,
take
Nikki.
than to take direction from a black woman. That's bottom
Mm-hmm.
line, full stop. You would rather this country burn to the ground than to take direction from a black woman because y'all want our intellect, but you don't want to take our lead. Because if for you to take our
Mm-hmm.
lead, that shows your incompetence, and that's what
Uh-huh.
they don't want to do it. So when white people get together, I understand white people like they got a white woman whisper. I'm the same way. I know exactly how they move and how they think. That's why when I'm in rooms with them or at work, I'm my daytime job. I'm a correspondence writer. I handle regulatory complaints. I could talk normal in my emails, but I make it a point to be very extra with my vocabulary because I want white people to know I speak your language. You can't speak mine, but I speak yours. And that automatically puts them in a position where they can never talk about me. They have to talk directly to me because they know,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she speaks our language. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't talk about her in code, and it automatically puts them in that position to where no, you have to speak to me directly and you got to talk to me like you got some fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
That part.
And
Okay.
that's what it is. So when they say, oh, and then the other guy towards the end of the video, he had to try and clean it up. He's like, well, not all of us. No, it's all of y'all. It's all of y'all. Liberals, y'all blue MAGA. Same shit.
I agree with that. I agree. And you know what? Let's see what some of your commenters, well, the commenters said on this video as well. So, Pi Vutumanen, I guess that's how I say, good people did not vote Trump. I don't believe that. I think
No. Mm-mm.
I know some people, I know some white folks that switched their vote. They was like, oh, I'm going to vote, I'm not going to vote for him. And they switched their vote. And I was just like, so why'd you do that? Oh, I just felt like, he's going to be stronger. He is a businessman. I said, but he has 7 bankruptcies.
Right.
That's not
That-
good.
White women switched their votes because their men was beating their ass. Let's be
Yeah.
Okay.
real.
yeah.
I said 7
Which
I
is
beat the shit
something
out
that
of
I
you if you
would
vote for
never
her.
understand because if we keeping it 100, white women don't understand that they was low key. I'm not gonna say they was on the same level of slavery as us, but y'all was their property. Y'all couldn't decide who y'all wanted to
Yep.
marry. Y'all couldn't
Yep.
decide what y'all wanted to do with y'all lives. Y'all was low key. Y'all was in a better position than black people, but y'all was in the same boat. So
Yep.
why are y'all still listening to these men?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are their property. These like the same people that voted for Trump are the same women who, baby, if your uncle take advantage of you, bitch, you got to keep that baby now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
But
their
Fight for
privilege
that.
is above all. That's
yeah.
what they're protecting. They're
Yes.
protecting the
Yes.
privilege because they feel like, you know what? I may not have as many rights, but I got more rights than you.
I got more rights than you.
So
Exactly.
that's what it comes down to. It's like white women know that as far as the patriarchy concerned, they're purely ornamental. They know that, but they also know, oh, I got more rights than black women. I got more
Mm-hmm.
rights than Latinos. I will always have more than what you have. So even if I'm getting treated like shit, I still got more. That's why you got rednecks that still want to be rednecks because you could come up to a two tooth redneck and say, hey, would you trade places with a black billionaire? He'll stay a two tooth redneck because at
Come
the
on
end of the
now.
day, that skin color is above all else. And that is why these poor white people are mad because they were sold and told the lie that you didn't have to be smart, you just had to be white. So when they see other people who are not white getting ahead of them, they can't figure out why. And they're angry because they've been told by rich white men, you don't have to do anything but be white.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they see something else,
That part.
they're upset about it. So yeah, white women voted against their best interest because at the end of the day, they know they got white privilege and they got white tears, and they can weaponize both.
I
And
just
if
want
they
to jump on what you just said. Because I always hear white women voted against their best interest. I have a different take. White women voted exactly in their interest because voting for Harris psychologically would put them on the same playing field, the level, with us. They voted
yeah,
their interest. They voted their interest because their interest is the white male patriarchy, which support. I've always believed if white women actually grew a fucking spine, if they caught a whiff of what a backbone looks like, racism would not be as prevalent as it is. It is
It
upheld,
wouldn't.
it is bred by white women. If all these white women
Yep.
said enough of this patriarchy, enough of this shit, it would die, because it would die with them, and their offspring wouldn't be little crotch demons out here doing the shit that they do. So they voted
Exactly.
definitely in their interest, whiteness, privilege.
You
I
know,
agree. That's a different take, son, and I didn't think of it that
Mhm.
way. But you're absolutely correct. They did that because they don't want to be on the same playing field with us. And I
Mhm.
touched on that in my video. I have to upload it. But I did touch on that because it's like they don't our greatness is their grievance. Period.
Mhm. Ooh, I'm finna write that down. I'm
They
stealing that, girl.
That's their issue. And that's why they need us to be humble. Because we're a reminder of their inherent ineptitude and inferiority. We remind them of that.
Mhm.
So they need us to be humble so that it doesn't shine a light on their white mediocrity. So they
Exactly.
never want to be on the same playing field because it'll never be leveled. They
Yeah.
lucky we don't like cold weather because we come and fuck up hockey.
Come on now.
You
Come
hear me?
on now. And you know black people invented hockey,
I was
right?
about
We
to say that.
created
You
that
know, we
Yeah,
sport.
invented it.
Yes,
exactly. So
ma'am.
it's like they don't. And yes, they voted in their interest because they never, like I said, they don't want to take direction from a black woman. They can't.
Mhm.
That is something that they can never wrap their head around. They don't want the direction. They
Mhm.
can't, because if you, I don't care what anybody says, it is innate for white people to give direction but not take direction.
Not take it. Mhm.
It is in them. Even if it is in them, even if they have to ask someone for help. If you ever notice, because I know we've all been in a situation where you try to tell a white person something and you could be whispering so low. Why are you loud? Because you're giving them direction that it is not in them to take. So they take every little
Mhm.
thing as a microaggression against us. Why are you being so loud? Bitch, I'm whispering. What the fuck are you talking about? Now
Mhm.
I can get loud if that's what you want,
Mhm.
but it's like that goes to show that even in those little tiny spaces, they can't take it for black people to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
They'll flip it on us. Oh, you're being aggressive. You're doing it. It's like, no, I'm telling you
Mhm.
what you're supposed to be doing. I just don't have time to pussyfoot around.
Mhm.
That's what, to me, that's what the issue is. But you're 100% right. They do vote. They didn't vote against their interests. They voted for their interests. And then when they see that this shit is about to be Gilead 2.0, then
Mhm.
they
Now
want to
it's
come.
all women.
Now it's all women. Nah, bitch, that's you. Because they don't give a fuck about
Y'all
black
think
people
they
having
want to
Come
babies. They
see
don't
on.
care
blue
about that.
fucking
That's you.
bracelets? I was like, "Bitch, if I see you with a blue bracelet, I'm gonna walk the other way because I still don't trust you, ho."
Let me tell you something. If I
Exactly.
see a hoe walking around with a blue bra, I'm throwing a rock at that bitch head. Don't you?
Exactly.
And I'm gonna take the bracelet.
Yeah. And notice how they got pissed off when we called them out about them bracelets.
Come
Because the
on.
moment the mask always drops. The moment we told them, fuck you and them blue bracelets, that's when they got
Mhm.
mad. That's when the first wave
Mhm.
of rage bait
Don't
came
want to come
about.
together. You all just want no, bitch. Y'all should have
We're
came together.
trying to do
Oh,
something and we can't win. Bitch, you should have did what you were supposed to do when you should have did it. How about that?
exactly.
But
Exactly.
what I love though is that our black queens, baby,
Okay.
started making and selling them bracelets and profiting off them hoes. I ain't
Exactly.
mad at that twist of events, at that
Yep.
turn of events. But nah, they should have did what and it's always like you just said. I'm gonna call it. Is it Maisha? Because I know you said Maya is easier, but what do you want to be called, hon?
You either one. Go ahead. I'll answer to the either one.
Maisha. On the whole point of girl, I didn't lost my point that quick. Never mind.
So
Bad,
I have
my
a
bad.
question.
Oh, you up? My bad.
So what do
Just
y'all think of
distracted
that?
myself right out there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What do y'all think of that term aggressive? Because I've been called this recently by a white manager, and I told him I didn't like that term. He was like, "Well, you are aggressive." And when I see
Mhm.
that and police people saying, I don't like that term. What do y'all think of the term
The
aggressive?
thing that irks my nerves the most is that they love to call us aggressive when we are just having a regular conversation.
Mhm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it. My thing is this, right? I worked in a call center for a long time. That's not what I do now. And the only way I got through them years of being in the call center is I had to realize, like, listen, these customers on these phones, they mad at the situation. They not mad at me. In the moment that white people realize, like, baby, we passionate about what we talking about. We not aggressive. We're just passionate when we express ourselves. The easier everybody will understand themselves better. Y'all just too goddamn soft. We are like, even right now, they will probably feel like, oh, why is she talking so hard, baby? This is
Yep.
my talk. I don't know what else you want me to do.
That's natural for us, and they take that. They do everything to take what is naturally ours and turn
Yeah.
it against us. They want to take our natural attributes and use them against us. Being a black woman in corporate America, I work from home now for the last 5 years, but being in an office, white people do not like, especially white women, they don't like when they can't read you. And I'm the type of bitch, I'm not giving you no information. I'm here to
Mhm.
clock in and
Yeah.
clock the fuck out. I am not here to, so when I feel like talking, I'll talk. When something is funny, I'll laugh. But I ain't here to dance for you niggas. So
Mhm.
when they can't figure out, when they can't figure out what they can and can't say to you, that's what they want to know. They want to know, can I make a racist joke and she's going to be okay with it? And I never give, they can't read me, so you're never going to know what you could say in front of me until you say that shit in real time, and then I got to let you know you can't say it. That's what it's about. They don't like it when you take up for yourself. They don't like it if you want to talk to me passive aggressive. I'm gonna talk to you passive aggressive. I'm gonna play the same game that you want to play. I am not going to dumb myself down for you. I'm not going to minimize myself for you. If you got a problem because I'm an educated black woman, that's your fucking fault and you got to deal with that shit. But I'm here to do a job. And they always tell me, "Oh, Nikki, you don't smile enough, or you don't do this and do that." And I used to work at a bank. It's like, "Oh, the customers say you don't smile." And my response was, do you want me to smile, or you want this draw to balance at the end of the day?"
Amen.
That
Because
part.
I have a job. I have a job to do. These people are on their lunch break. They on their regular break. They 15-minute break. I'm trying to get people in and out. I don't got time to ask you about your family, your dog, and all that shit. I don't have time to
I
figure out how
think
much you owe the hairdresser. like
I
we
think I think the term aggressive when it comes specifically from white people and most importantly white women, I think it comes from a place of jealousy. I think
mm-hmm.
it comes from a place of white women do not have it in them to be loud and passionate because the patriarchy, the white male patriarchy, ain't having it. They are
Mm-hmm.
not having. They'll beat it the fuck up out of them. So it comes from a place of jealousy. And when I say these things, it comes from me talking to a lot of clients that have come and gone. Some, I get close with some of my clients throughout some of the jobs I've had. And I've heard so many white women say it's an attempt to humble us because they wish they could be more outspoken like us. But one thing about a strong black woman, baby, it's going to take Jesus Christ himself to ride down on them 4-5 horses, baby, and smack it the fuck up out of us. Because one thing about me, I know time and place. I know exactly when to be aggressive, as they call it. I call it passionate because I will never, like you said, Miss Nikki, make myself small for anybody. I will never. There's a time and place though, because I'm like a little spy. I'm light skinned, so they feel safe with me sometimes, so I can have them talks and get the real shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
never. Even in those conversations, you will understand you will never have the power to humble me, baby. You will never. Your jealousy, and they'd rather do that, call you aggressive and loud, than grow a fucking spine. Bitch, if you had a spine, we'd be having a loud, aggressive conversation together. The fuck you mean? Like, get on my level. Don't try to bring me to yours because you scared, because you meek and mild. You don't know how to open your mouth and fight for something.
Exactly.
What they don't stand for anything. They don't fight for anything. And nothing matters to them until it directly lands on their doorstep. So call me aggressive. It's a compliment, ho.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna finish the comments on this one, and then we're gonna move on to the next video. Rock Marie W said, "I would love to see more of these conversations." I agree with that.
Yeah.
Jareed0962, and he was never a good businessman. 6 or 7 bankruptcy filings. That's not a good businessman. He was riding that business, and he's going to bankrupt this country morally, financially, and spiritually.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And then Tabacat02, on what planet is a person who has 6 bankruptcies, fraudulent school, stole from cancer research, doesn't pay his employees, makes a good businessman. I don't understand how anyone could actually fix their face to say that. What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
And for them, and that's the thing, they have a straight face talking about this too, like, oh, this is factual. I'm like, no, I mean, that ain't it. But being honest, like when I was in Kansas and Missouri, bankruptcies, what white folks did, and this is how a lot of people learned. White folks, they would run up all their credit, their charge cards, everything. They'll take all the money out of it. They'll file bankruptcy, and then they have all that money left over.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they will go buy them a house. So it's like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is, to me, in my eyes, this is ingrained in their culture of doing stuff like that.
But see, here's the thing though. I have a kind of different way of looking at it because we were taught that it was bad to file bankruptcy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm learning
Yeah.
now in 25 that it's really not that terrible because it's what they do all the time. I
Yes.
Yep.
also learned that they always get a LLC, get a bunch of business funding, and then fuck the money up and file bankruptcy and do it all over again. So they do it on their personal and their business credit all the time. But we were taught
Yep.
to do that. And I want to know why we were taught not to do that. If
To
that's
keep us financially dependent.
Yep.
mm,
Because I thought the same exact thing until I had to do it myself, and then I had another friend that said the same thing. They know somebody, they file all the time. They want us. This is why we're in the situation that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
College used to be free until black people
Yep.
wanted to go.
Yeah.
Then it had to be tuition, and then came the loans. We didn't have
Yep.
credit scores until black people started to catch up to white people financially. Now we got credit scores. White
Mm-hmm.
racism is expensive, and see, white people in the beginning they could afford racism. They can't afford it now.
mm,
They
Mm-hmm.
can't afford it because now it's affecting them. They can't get a
Mm-hmm.
car. They can't pay off their loans. They can't do X, Y, and Z. The job that I have, I get to see these MAGA people in real time. They talk a lot of cash money shit about these student loans. Oh, it's a student loan. You have to pay it back. Y'all be the first ones begging when you can't make that mortgage payment. Y'all be the
Come on.
first ones asking for help because I'm the one that's
Come
got to
on.
type the letter to tell you you are denied
Come on.
and why. So
Oh,
y'all be the first ones to put it in forbearance. Y'all be the first ones to ask for a modification. Y'all be the first ones to ask for help. But then talk about people that liberals that are going to school. I am
come on.
convinced white people have hated education ever since black people could learn how to read. They said, fuck
Yep.
it. Black people can read, we gotta leave this shit alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is, yeah. That's a good analogy right there. We're gonna go on to the next video, and I'm gonna see what y'all think of this one as well.
Ask you a question. Is there any meat in that bag?
No.
Did you open it for me? It's not. It's because we're not supposed to let bags back there. So the manager was watching on the whatever, and they think there's some meat in it. I was gonna,
No, I think it's because you seen me pick it up and then you didn't see it in my buggy, but you can watch on the camera that I followed.
I know. Can you open the bag? Well, you're not supposed to have bags in there. I can ask you to open it. You can't just go flash it open. I'm asking. I'm trying to be respectful. I'm not making a scene. It's just me and you right here.
Yeah, I understand that, but I
Yeah,
seen you
because
back
there's meat in
there.
it. You're telling me no. That's because there's meat in it. There's no reason to say no. Because there's no meat in there. I'm a security guard. It's my job. People comply with me all day.
Okay.
It's simple. I came to you correctly. I just said, can you put it below? And then that was the end of it. My manager told me to ask to make sure there's no meat in there. I'm not trying to make a scene or nothing. They probably seen you on the camera. I don't know, man. I'm not accusing you of nothing. I
Fair.
know. I was walking, man. I'm walking. I wasn't watching you particularly. I was just walking. They said, "Hey, there's a bag in the cart on aisle, whatever." I went. I asked you to blue it, and I came. Yeah. And you say, "Yeah, we're all cool." And I came right here. I said, "Hey, check the bag." They told me check the bag. That's what I do. I'm so sorry.
If I just give you meat, I'll leave.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Look, it's okay. I'm not gonna tell you doing nothing like that. It's just. Thank you. Is there? Yeah.
There's nothing else.
I mean,
Oh.
no, I know, ma'am. But you told me there's nothing in the beginning.
There's nothing else.
Can you move your? All right, ma'am. Can you move your? Can
Yes.
you move? Oh, there's some chew. I see it, ma'am. The beans, the can of beans.
That's not
Man,
food.
it's Kroger tomatoes, man. There's more meat. Okay, now you're lying to me. And no. I'm gonna get.
What do y'all think of that?
Oh, here's my
Ooh,
thing, right?
baby.
Here's my
Okay,
thing.
go
I don't know
somebody
if
else.
it's because he's a black man, his calmness with her, or I don't like the calmness because if that was a black person stealing, they would have slammed that person to the ground. They would
Yep.
have went through the bags. They
That
would. I
Yep.
part.
remember watching a video at Walmart where they went through a lady bag. She wasn't even stealing. They made her stand to the side while they went through each bag and checked the receipts. None of that was happening. And another thing, he said they wasn't supposed to have bags wherever she was at. Why the fuck didn't y'all go confront her then? If it was a black person, y'all would have been came up to them like, hey, you can't have bags back here. But y'all waited till she was about to check out to ask her. That whole
Yep.
interaction just pissed me off a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
it did, and that goes to show. Like it's like we're mentally trained to still give them fucking grace when they don't deserve it. She was more offended at being questioned about being a because she was a white woman.
Okay.
That she wasn't even concerned about the fucking stealing because you could tell she been slept on out here
Come
doing
on.
5 finger discounts for a long time.
Come
She
on.
was more offended at how dare you
This
approach me,
nigga.
a white woman, about how dare you think that
Mhm.
I, a white woman, can't afford meat and a can of beans. That's the part that pissed her off. She knew she was stealing. What pissed her off was how dare you, and then to add insult to injury, how dare you, a black man, approach me that way. Now I can understand why he did it because at the end of the day, he know how these people operate, and he still got to keep his job. Because had he done it the way he probably wanted to, they would have found some way to put it on him. Because all she would, she would have did white woman tears and all this
Yep.
type of stuff. He would have got written up. It would have been some bullshit. So I can understand why he handled it the way that he did, but she was more outraged at the fact that a black man would dare to assume that her, a white woman, is stealing. That was
Come
her
on.
issue.
I get it, but
It
why
was
do we have to keep pandering to their fucking emotions?
that part right
Yep,
there. It
yep,
was too much damn shucking and jiving happening
yep,
for me. Oh, Miss Ma'am, I was so sorry. I was supposed to check the tackle that hoe and hog tie that bitch like you would a black person. Like,
exactly,
stop playing. We always have to be mindful of our behavior, even in the midst of their fucked up behavior. And I'm
exactly.
sick of that
Nope,
mindset with us. If she had been black, number one, like you said, Miss Major, she never would have made it through the door all the way into the store shopping for however long with a bag. Number two, when she walked her black ass up there, they would have had 5, 6, 7 loss prevention, the cops and everybody else ready for
Right.
her. And here his black ass is shucking and jiving. Bitch, empty that bag. Stop playing with me, ho. I know you in here stealing groceries, bitch. Like that right there. I'm so sick. And I don't want to make this a black woman, black man thing because black women do it too. But I'm so sick of seeing our strong, beautiful black men shucking and jiving for these motherfucking cave monkeys. It really ooh, it burns my soul. It burns my soul. Now I'm not saying he had to pimp smack this hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying punch the bitch in her forehead, but what I am saying, authority.
yes.
And that's why, it came across more so of her being, how dare this black man, because he didn't come with authority. He walked up like a field slave. That's how he walked up to her.
and,
No, for
and that's the one
I'm
thing I
sorry,
know.
but that kind of stuff I'm so hot right
It
now because
irks
I
you.
never saw that video.
It irks me, and I know this happens a lot. And you know what bothers me is like even when you're at work, they would do it as well. They would like, oh, what's the name said, and it'll be somebody white that told them something, but then when somebody black tell them something, oh,
Yeah,
no, I ain't doing it. I ain't.
yeah,
I'm. I'm
exactly.
like, but you didn't say that to Jason and Melanie and Bethany, but you didn't say that to
exactly.
Shaquita and Tyrone. Okay, got it. So,
Yeah,
but this like these incidents is very prevalent in like Kansas and
yeah,
Missouri. Like
yeah,
when I tell you I had a job offer, they said, "Hey, we're gonna have you go to Atlanta." I said, "I'll take it." I didn't ask for the salary. I didn't ask for the out. No, I will take it. Get me up out of here. That was the best decision I ever made, leaving Kansas and Missouri.
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Because this right here, I mean, you see that all the time. It's at work. It's at the grocery store. It's out when it's like they cower towards them, but then they're
Yes.
going to fight each other.
Right.
And I just don't get that. But that's some of the things that we definitely do see a lot. Now we're about to run out of time. I'm gonna read some of the comments from this one as well, and then we will start the next video. So I made a comment, but I'll read that later. Fuck Oyatari. Oh, well, however he said, white people steal more than all other groups combined. They
Come
just
on.
watch like other groups are. Me, Ma, and Caitlin will rob you blind.
They stole this fucking land, so shit, a fucking can of beans ain't that far
Come
behind.
on. They stole people. You think they ain't gonna steal some beans?
Exactly.
Queen of Hearts, Usual Suspects, Original Suspects.
Okay.
OGs.
I like that. I like the
Yes.
OGs. Seven, seven, even 18 apparel. But black people get tackled and almost killed by cops when they don't have
Come on.
anything. That's true. We just spoke about that. We just did.
Yep.
Win battles. White folks invented lying and stealing. The security guard should have called the cops. Y'all just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have called.
And we'll read one last one. Act Bowen official, but he treated her with so much respect, unlike how it would have been the other way around.
Huh.
It's like I hit everything on the head. And we haven't even got to the comments. But yeah, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.